what you're doing with your life.
Yeah.
If you don't feel guilty about everything, then you're not living properly.
And on that cheery note, welcome to the pub, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
You join us mid depths of long, dark tea time of the soul, because it's Christmas. It's the turning of the year. It's the moment when you look at yourself in the mirror again and go, another year gone by, and I am me. I am still me, and I have not evolved.
Although I suppose when this goes out, it'll be New Year's Eve. So,
God.
sayonara 2023, you fuck.
Another step closer to the grave. Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. That feels so weird to be saying when it's not New Year yet. But yeah, it will be. Happy New Year. I hope everyone made it. If you made it to midnight, good for you. If you didn't make it to midnight, good for you.
Good for you.
Yeah.
If you did anything funky over New Year's, I may well have had a chilly winter dip in the English Channel, which means I will either be dead of frostbite or cholera. Take your pick. I'm John, by the way. Hello. And I've ordered from the bar. Oh, we don't have a name for the pub. What pub are we in? Somebody, come on. Think fast, Per. Think fast.
The Exploding Reindeer.
That's good. Keep going. We may return to it. Keep going. No, I've got it. Santa's Sleigh with sleigh spelled S-L-A-Y.
Nice. And it's also a hip, like, Gen Z bar.
Drag
it's all like
club?
Santa's Sleigh.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was like a Santa's drag bar.
Yeah,
Even better.
That works.
It's a Santa drag bar,
So
yeah.
Santa's there in full drag, but covered in gore.
And glitter.
But glittery gore, yeah.
Yeah, literally gore. Glittery gore and stinking of the Christmas spirit, as we all will be by the time this goes out. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
I'm John, and I've ordered from the bar some very traditional Christmassy Cape Verdean grog.
Oh.
Because I'm not at the bottom of the bottle yet.
I say, how much have you had of it?
And we only bought, Sinead was not responsible anyway for this. I only bought one bottle, and that was in June. It's tough going.
It's still there.
It's still there. I'm almost there. But oh my goodness.
So listeners, if you want John to suffer, please send him a bottle of Cape
Send
Verdean
him
grog.
Do not do this. Do not do this. This is definitely the worst possible way to consume sugarcane ever.
Perpetuate his suffering. Send him gifts of Cape Verdean grog.
Lovely. And in the pub with me today, we have...
Hi, I'm Jamie, and I'm drinking a mead, as is the case, as it always is, of my own devising. This is my juniper mead that I made back in March. So bottoms up.
By made, what do you mean?
I went to a meadery in the Wye Valley called the Wye Valley Meadery, which is a good name considering where it is and what it does. And I went on a mead making course. So I made it myself. I mixed the honey, the yeast, the water, shook it up, and then left it to sit on my windowsill for 6 months.
I've often wondered what the moment would be where I knew I'm middle-aged now.
Oh, that's it.
And I think I've just seen your moment. That's the moment. The moment you decide, I'm going to pay money for a mead making course and then actually make the mead. That's the moment.
The moment came for me when they were talking about how they get the honey for the mead, and I started to think, I could keep bees. And then I could get my own honey. That was the point. Like, oh shit, I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I'm planning my retirement in my mid-30s.
There are a lot of those moments, I think, as you age, where you go, oh no, I'm really old now.
Nectar card was a big one for me. I got a nectar card. I should keep this. I should get points on this.
I mean, to balance it out, I still build Lego. So, I'm trying to keep the last remnants of my youth intact. But it is surprisingly good.
That's acceptable these days.
I should hope so. It's a wonderful pastime.
Hi, I'm Annekoos. I've ordered just a tap water from the bar, but I'm pairing that with a delicious, traditional Christmas time satsuma, or clementine, or tangerine, or however you want to call one of those small orange citrus fruits that are really, really easy to peel.
Sometimes known as easy peelers.
It is actually, it's an easy peeler, but I don't think it said whether it was a satsuma or a clementine or a tangerine on the...
Why are they Christmassy? Because you're right, they are. They are Christmassy, but I can't for the life of me think why that would be.
I think because it's one of the citrus fruits that in other countries, obviously, than the UK, are in season.
Oh, so back in the days of like the Empire, that'd be one of the things you could get cheaper than usual, perhaps.
Yes.
Interesting. Interesting. Cool.
Bloody
Lovely.
Empire.
Well, welcome, guys, to Santa Slay. That's the best I can do. In so many ways.
He had a cheeky grin, listeners.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all
There was
that's all you
sass.
get. But I was once more or less forced in the sense of you will come to this birthday party and you will dress in drag because it's organized fun and you will do that. And I came up with a drag name which was Miss Minnie Burns. Because I'm not Minnie in any way. Buns sound delicious. I'm hungry. Anyway, and I really enjoyed.
That sounded like you were perving over your own drag persona.
Just a little bit.
Oh, buns
yeah,
sound
would do, wouldn't it?
delicious.
I'm not there like eating my own like nipples. I'm not doing that.
Buns.
Just to be clear, buns. Yeah, I'm not eating my own buns. That sounds sexy, though. Anyway. I had tremendous fun on that night out, and I started flirting with the DJ, and then sort of caught myself doing it. I went, "What am I doing? That's really odd."
Just sort of getting into the persona.
Yeah, it's fun. You get carried away. It's fun. So, shall we turn our attention, now that we're in the new year, to the room that you guys successfully completed? Yes, well done, Annekoos. You've restored your honour.
Thank you.
Yeah, you were the MVP for that.
It's a weird way that you've given me to restore my honour, given that in the last game I chopped somebody to pieces, and now you've got pieces that I had to put back together. So
it's a redemption arc.
Weird redemption arc. Yeah, it is a redemption arc.
Thing to get to do. You get to stitch things back together.
It's a dark redemption arc.
Yeah, the threads, John, that you've pulled across multiple episodes.
Some would say just preoccupations that I should probably talk to somebody about, but others would say threads.
I suppose your bullshit sponsor kind of like explains both of those things.
It definitely set out the stall, didn't it? I thought quite well. I just enjoy it. Basically, what happened with the bullshit sponsor was I came up with Call of Duty Free, and I thought it was so funny and such a good pun. I thought I have to make this into something. What would that actually mean, though? What would something called the Call of Duty Free? Like, it's either an irreverent indie video game in which you have to shoot items in airport duty free to buy them, or it's an all-inclusive trip to a war zone of your choice. So I feel like I took the best option.
I mean, why can't it be both?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
The war zone
How else do you get on the plane?
Yeah, it will be both. It will be both. Coming soon to an airport near you. So the room itself, I know you both think that was unnecessarily grim and dark. I think it was actually, in some respects, quite an accurate reflection of Santa Claus, because, oh my goodness, some of the origin stories are bleak.
Oh, I like this.
Wow. So, Annekoos, the part where you said, oh, that's about the dismembered boys. Yeah, you're spot on. You're absolutely spot on. So St. Nicholas of Myra, which is in, I believe, southern Turkey, which is where St. Nicholas, at least according to scripture and whatnot, comes from. So the legend is that a sadistic butcher, okay, so many of those through history, while we're on that, like if someone decides to be a butcher, then question mark over them for childcare, okay?
Fair.
Anyway, sadistic butcher who hates children, and I love it, this being like a Christian myth, no further description is given as to why this bloke goes ahead and does this. He's sadistic butcher, hates children, move on. He gets 3 local boys, chops them up, and puts them in a barrel. St. Nicholas finds them, and through fervent appreciation of the Lord God, reanimates them back to life and makes them whole again. St. Nicholas, we have it on record, he has the power to raise the dead and even cure dismemberment. And so was born my little escape room. Also, I just really, really like the idea of the Russians accidentally shooting down Santa Claus. There was something about that accidentally, again, something that really tickled me about that.
There's something really sinister about somebody who has the potential to put dismembered pieces back together, infiltrating your house via the chimney. to leave you a gift. It's like,
right?
I could put body parts together, boy. I can take them apart just as easy. Santa's a redneck in my head canon.
That's incredibly dark. It is bleak, isn't it? It is weird, but Christmas definitely has that vibe historically. Obviously, with like giving children coal. I really prefer the Father Christmas image, the man in the green robe with the staff, the sort of Merlin figure, because he goes way back.
Yeah, so I think the sort of Father Christmas / Santa Claus that we think of is an amalgam of that sort of the green robed figure and Saint Nicholas, because Saint Nicholas's Saint Day is actually on the 5th of December or the 6th.
Ooh.
One was his birthday, and then the other was like the day that he died or something. So that's why the Dutch always celebrate St. Nicholas Day, which has nothing to do with Christmas. I keep having to tell people this. It's got nothing to do with Christmas. Apart from, apparently, according to, if I got this right, the book called The Island at the Center of the World, which is worth a read, by the way, by the historian Russell Shorto, a historical book about the colony of New Amsterdam, as it then was, back in the 16th century.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the colony of New Amsterdam had lots of immigrants from Europe. So we had a lot of Dutch people, obviously, because at the time it was still under Dutch rule. And also there were a lot of English people. And so the story goes, according to this book, again, if I remember it correctly, that the Dutch families would celebrate St. Nicholas Day on the 5th of December, and the kids would get to put their shoes by the hearth in the expectation. So this is how it goes in the Netherlands. You put your shoe by the hearth, or maybe at the time it was a stocking, but you put your shoe by the hearth.
Footwear.
And footwear, exactly. You leave something nice out for St. Nicholas's horse, because he rides a Palomino horse.
Wow, that is specific.
And then in the morning you wake up, and then the shoe has been miraculously filled with maybe some small gifts and definitely some sort of specific treats that you only get around the time of Sinterklaas. And so the story goes that the Dutch were doing this, and obviously the kids of the Englishmen were like, wait, why do we have that? Why don't we have that? Exactly, WTF. And they were like, well, we can't just start, celebrating this Saints' Day that we've never heard of. You know what we'll do? We'll just sort of co-opt that and use it at Christmas time. So that's where you get stockings from. It's where you get the concept of Saint Nicholas from. And that's where it sort of then slowly...
Okay, I can see now why you were cross when I said he's known by many names. The Dutch name is this, the English name is that. And you're like, hold the fucking phone.
No, yeah, it's not.
You shut up.
Yeah, you shut up your face. You get your filthy claws off my Sinterklaas.
He's ours.
Yeah. Okay, can I ask them? So Sinterklaas?
Sinterklaas, yep.
Sinterklaas. What does that mean if you were to translate as directly as possible from Dutch to English?
It's sort of a bastardization of Saint Nicholas. So it's Sint. And then, so instead of saying Sint Nicolaas, it's sort of squished together to make Sinterklaas.
Yeah. So it's just a compression. Okay, cool.
There's a compression.
I think, though, we can all agree that the Hawaiians put us in the shade here with Shaka Santa.
That is awesome.
Which is just the best.
Did we solve your puzzle how you expected us to?
Pretty much. There were elements. So, okay. I had a couple of issues here in that I wanted one where you had to drag the names of all the reindeer out from pure memory with no prompting at all. Because I thought, I bet a lot of people would find that quite hard. We all think we know them. And then
I think you've come across two people who just really like that song. So
I just fucking love Christmas.
Yeah, but 3 seconds into the episode, and you're like, "Oh, the reindeer! Bam, 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 bam!" These guys. I'm like, "Oh,
yeah."
Fuck.
That's been drilled into my brain. There's a scene in the film Jingle All the Way where Arnold Schwarzenegger's character tries to win a Turboman doll by guessing in a radio contest the names of all of Santa's reindeer, and he repeats it over and over again in his head to make sure that he wins. So that's been just burned into my memory at Christmas time.
Okay, fair enough, Arnie. This one's on you.
Thank you.
So yes, the bit with the ends of the reindeer names, and you just get the last 2 letters. I was hoping there'd be a bit more screwing around on that it would take you much longer to realise that those were the reindeer names. Unfortunately, not only did we have both Jamie and Annekoos who were into this, you'd also already gone to look at the bits of reindeer and retrieved the photograph. The photograph was hidden in various places in different versions of this puzzle. I but I eventually left it out reasonably open because I wanted something accessible that I could bring you to if you couldn't remember the names of all the reindeer. I need some way to give it to them without it just being like, it's these. If they can't. So I'll just leave it in a different area that they'll definitely look at afterwards. And you looked at it first, you bastards.
Oh, well,
every time. But, more fool me for not hiding that behind something better. So, yes, that went by very quickly. However, it was fascinating, you guys dealing with the bits of reindeer, because you immediately came to the correct conclusion. Right, we got to Frankenstein ourselves some reindeer here. Immediately came to that conclusion. But it was like you thought there was some extra level of process of elimination that you could somehow do to come to an answer. When, certainly from my angle, it was obvious that you were still lacking a piece of information. You knew you needed deer power. You knew you needed a lift. You knew they both had these things. But you didn't really have any idea how those two factors were created. And I'd hidden the clue in the intro, which, by the way, I do in every single episode. I do. Every single time there's something hidden in the intro, which is very relevant. And yet they don't learn, people. They don't learn.
I'm going to write that down now. And for the next one, I'll be recording your intro.
I mean, even after you went back to it twice, we were still like, bits of reindeer. Cool, right. So about this thing. I was trying to Sudoku it, like logic puzzle it. Okay, get rid of the grey, get rid of the white. Okay, but I think, Annekoos, you clocked it straight away, the link with the deer power and the lift.
Yes.
And,
I did.
When we went back again, you clocked the image of the two sets of legs. And like in the last room I made for Controlled Escape, where there was the reverse Venn diagrams puzzle, one of my better ones, I feel like, I hit upon this thing that it's all about overall meaning. That's a really nice way of approaching something, that if you deconstruct it, it falls apart and it means nothing. So you're not picking a bit of information out of something. You have to look at the overall thing. Like, what is the actual picture? Close my eyes. What am I seeing in front of me? Like, what is being described? And then I felt like it was relatively clear. You've got the front legs sailing off into getting stuck in a tree up in the air, and the hind legs powering into the ground, still digging away, deer power and lift. I thought about actually putting in the words lift and power in there, but it felt too obvious.
You put power in there for the hind legs. Which, by the way, is the only way that I would have gotten it, because I was kind of going, but because they're both sort of pawing away. So in my head, I was like, I don't know which is which. So because you had power for the hind legs, I was like, oh, that must be the power, because equally, if you've got really strong hind legs, that could be lift, because that could, propel you up and out.
Yeah.
So I think clearly the image about one of them being up above you into a tree didn't land as this thing is floating.
Yeah, I in my head I pictured it as it was snagged on like a branch or something. Like it was literally in the tree doing that, as opposed to floating.
I could see it heading up, but again, I was just like, I guess I overthink it then, because I did the same on all like SATs and stuff. I would kind of go, but wait, because it could also be something completely different. And of course, you're supposed to go for the instant obvious answer.
I'm just rereading it now. Animated in a grim parody of life, continue to gallop uselessly into an overhead branch, hovering oddly. It's that. So I clearly thought hovering oddly was enough, and it clearly wasn't enough. To give that more clarity, I needed to find a way, just a better way of describing that. No, these things are floating.
Yeah, I think just in midair would be enough. There's nothing around
midair
it.
would have been the way for you to go, okay, no, they have the power flight. Yeah, okay, cool. Were I to have my time again, or were I to want to go back and edit this and make you guys look really thick?
There's not much work required for me to make that happen for me, John. You're okay.
No, not at all.
I feel like as long as we still solved it.
Yeah, we did. They did well, yeah.
Everything else hung together pretty well, apart from the what is exploring the sleigh bit. But that's fair, I guess, because it's difficult with a big item with various things in it. You don't want to just give it to people and they say, I look at the sleigh. Okay, there's this thing over here, and this thing over here, and this thing over there. Yeah. I guess to cue you into that better, I probably should have described the specific angle you can see from in some detail. Yeah. And only that. to encourage you to go, okay, I want to move around to the side. I want to have a look inside the cabin. I want to sit on the seat. I want to all this stuff. I actually thought that you would look inside, like examine Santa's arms and sleeves and things and find the hip flask that way.
No.
But
that would be far too gruesome.
We just ripped it off.
instead you prized his cold dead hands.
I'm the Santa
We just
now.
used his amputated arms to reanimate some reindeer.
I mean, that's
Standard.
useful. I'm keeping that shit.
Hmm?
Like you can make some good money off magic Santa hands.
Definitely. Definitely. The good old Christian laying on of hands. They love that stuff, those Christians.
Hi.
I think we had some creative interpretations of how we solved some of the end game bits. I completely forgot about the polar bear.
Completely
the
forgot about the polar bear. Yeah.
The one innocent in all of this, really.
But serving a high
all the reindeer, obviously.
I was going to say.
I mean, the way he runs his workshop, it's probably like a Tesla factory. It's not going to be good.
Oof.
Man, I love it. That's the metaphor that's coming through. No,
Santa goes to the Elon Musk School of Business.
Oy.
Just he's made it successful.
Well,
What,
or,
Santa or Elon?
is that where
Santa.
Elon Musk learned his business?
Oh, shit. Yeah,
Do you
maybe
think
So
he
Elon
was
Santa's
an
Santa.
enterprise was like, this guy only works one day a year.
And Elon was like, I like this. This is, and he gets all of the credit. Yeah, actually, what? This is ridiculous. Santa does the last mile, the last 50,000 miles delivery run, makes none of the toys, depending on which origin story we're looking at here. Klaus is a beautiful film, by the way. If you would like a Santa origin story that involves him making the toys and also brings tears to my dark, dark heart. Santa makes none of the toys. The elves do all of the work. He delivers them and go, hey, the Santa show. Oh, that's so great. Give me some mince pies and brandy. All of the brandy and meth.
Especially the
But
math.
also those reindeer, they consistently get labeled as male. And I think we've learned in recent years that male reindeer lose their antlers in winter.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely correct. Yes, you're spot on. So, indeed, all of Santa's reindeer are definitely female. Now, you clearly already knew this. I found this, and I'm not joking here, on the State of Alaska Department of Fish and Game website,
Yes, of course.
which has an extensive description of Santa's reindeer. Describing
Other
them as
people go
having-
on TikTok, but no, John hangs out at the Alaskan Department for Game and Fishing website.
Hey, look, they say they have an infinite life expectancy until hit by a Russian S-300 missile, clearly. They
That'll
are
do it.
immune from the coronavirus.
They're immune from
Who put
corona.
that in?
That's what the vaccine's made from.
Yeah.
Somebody
Right, right.
tested it extensively by coughing in their reindeer's face.
Yeah. They even have a Latin name. Would you like to hear it?
Let's do it.
The Latin name for a standard reindeer is Rangifer tarandus granti. And, oh, hang on, that's a subspecies. So they're all Rangifer tarantus, and Santa's reindeer are Rangifer tarantus St. Nicholas magicalis,
No.
which is
that's so
absolutely
cute.
charming. And if you
Aw.
want to get said information, it is on the Alaska Department of Fish and Game website. Santa's reindeer can be found there.
Magicalis.
And you can even listen to the sound of the animal on that website. And if you do that, you get jingle bells.
The mating call of the Santa's
It is
reindeer.
like little jingling bells. It's lovely, very, very charming. Well done to the good soul who was presumably some kind of intern there on a slow day and went, you know what I'm going to do?
No one's going to find out. No one's going to
No
know.
one's going to spot this, and
No one's gonna broadcast this.
I'm going to get real detailed. What's Latin for?
Is Magicalis a
Very
Latin
good.
word, or is that like a Harry Potter Latin word?
I mean, I'm sure if J.K. Rowling were here, J.K., we'd bring you on.
No,
It's
we
fine.
wouldn't.
No, we wouldn't. No, yes, we have morals. I don't have morals. Yeah, no, I think I don't know. I don't speak Latin. I'm not a Roman. Yeah, no one uses Latin anymore. Passe.
Actually, my nephew now goes to what's called a gymnasium school in the Netherlands, and it's basically any other kind of high school apart from that. You take Latin and or Greek as a subject for at least 4 years.
Wow.
And his school teaches living Latin. So his teacher teaches Latin as if it is still a living language.
That is cool. But is it called a gymnasium school?
Oh, that's from the German gymnasium.
If you do, so gymnasium. So it's okay. Gymnasium. If you go to that school, then you will have, I think in my case, it was at least...
It's posh school.
I think it's at least 4 years.
It's grammar school, basically. And it's a tiered system. At least in Germany, it's a tiered system with an exam.
It's not necessarily posh, but it is for the clever clogs.
Ah.
So you don't have to be posh to go there. You just have to be...
But it's the clever clogs as deemed by a test at like 11 years old.
Mm.
And let me tell you, were I to go back in time to 11-year-old John and test him, he would fuck it. Whereas now, he would fuck it.
He would fuck it.
Again. Definitely. No, 11-year-old John would probably not make that. I don't think.
I mean, on the plus side, you didn't have to learn Latin, so that's,
This is true. This is true.
Could be useful.
I really enjoyed learning Latin. I mean, I've forgotten most of it.
I imagine it's because it's kind of the big origin language of a lot of European languages. It is
so incredibly useful. Now, I took a lot of languages. So I had Dutch and English, which were compulsory, and I had German, French, and Latin.
Bloody hell.
Nice.
You take more subjects in the Netherlands. You take a minimum of 7, or at least when I graduated, you took a minimum of 7. And for your A-level equivalent.
Oh, God.
And it's been so incredibly useful having that Latin because I took it for 6 years. So
wow.
It really helps with my understanding of Spanish, of French, of Italian.
Yeah, so is it that it's the kind of a sort of overarching umbrella of structure and likely ways that languages around Europe will deconstruct and will be put back together that kind of gives you, I don't know, just sort of gives you a lens to look at it all through?
I think generally speaking, it's how the neurons in your brain work. The more languages you learn, the easier it is for you to learn and understand languages. Because the language pathways in your brain are just really, they turn into
really
super pathways. But I think with Latin, and especially sort of the languages that have come from Latin, there are just so many bases of words that you know or that you understand because you know what ab means, you know what ad means, you know what, and so there are a lot of things that I can kind of deduce just sort of.
So you have a load of like shortcuts and you have a head start.
And because Spanish and French and Italian all come from that same base.
Here's a few fun facts about the decline of Latin in the United Kingdom that I learnt from the British History Podcast, which is a podcast about British history, written and produced by an American. Oh. So that's odd. But he does a really good job. And like episode 1, I think there are about 400 episodes in. Episode 1, he goes, okay, 25,000 years ago, this was roughly what things looked like in Britain. Let's go from there. And I think, no, he's more like 500 episodes in by now. And I think William the Conqueror is now on the throne.
Wow.
So that's the level of detail, folks.
That is cool.
The Roman Empire broke up with Britain by letter. Genuinely, letter. The legionaries got pulled out to go and defend less to defend and more to take part in a civil war in the kind of the Central European Empire. And the Emperor of Rome, whose name I forget, wrote a letter to the British people that almost literally said, look to your own defense. Sorry. And no more troops. So the legionaries all buggered off, and Roman Britain slowly over the next couple of 100 years, maybe next 100 years, just sort of fell apart. The last people to be speaking Latin in Roman Britain were the Welsh. By a considerable distance. And the reason is that the geography separating the Welsh kingdoms from the rest of Britain was difficult enough that other invading forces just didn't get there for ages, basically. They were able to more or less continue their way of life and their way of speaking much longer than the rest of the country. So yes, the last Latin speakers in the United Kingdom were Welsh.
Love keeping those traditions alive.
Yeah.
That's the thing with the Welsh.
Also, the reason why St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, who's a Welshman, was actually called Patricus and would have spoken fluent Latin. So there you go.
That's some good knowledge.
Yeah.
I like it.
Bits and bobs.
See, Latin would have been way more useful. I put my lump in with ancient Egyptian for 4 years. That turned out to be as useful as a chocolate teapot.
Jamie, okay, I feel like today is the day, right? Turn of the new year.
I need to hear more about this.
Yeah, what the hell went down with you and being an Egyptologist? Okay, because I think of you, when I introduce you, say, one of the producers is Jamie, I say, he's a disgraced Egyptologist.
We just leave it at that.
Disgrace, no less. I mean, that makes it sound like you were, necrotizing the mummies.
I mean,
were you giving mummy some... Yeah.
There's not much to tell. It just involves 30 days in Luxor, a jacuzzi, 300 bottles of Stella, a box of grenades, and 7 days on the no-fly list. Mucky business. I won't bore you with it.
Every time it's different, prick. Every time.
It's a lot less interesting than I've actually made it out to be. The myth is bigger than the reality at this stage.
Oh, I'm sure.
The elevator pitch is quite funny. I will say that 6 months after we left, or the whole fiasco kicked off, the Arab Spring happened. Not saying we were in any way connected to that. We're in a different part of the country.
Okay, so, right. Whoa. Hold there. So, whatever happens to your career as an Egyptologist happens. 6 months later, the biggest wave of discontent to hit North Africa in, since Cast Age happens, and you're like, nope, nothing to do with me.
I wasn't even there. Different end of the country entirely.
Okay, I have to
Did
ask,
you find my fingerprints on it?
Any other Christmas nuggets from your puzzle sojourn?
Ooh, I don't think so. I think that was everything. I mean, you never get to see the white-hot fear in my face. So there was here's one. There was a moment
Don't we?
Maybe you guys see. The listeners don't get to see it.
No.
Maybe they hear it. And listeners, there's a moment in the puzzle sode where Annekoos is talking about the forelegs and the hind legs, and they talked about it for a while. And she said something, and it was about one of them being missing, or one of them, who was it? That was it. Yes, it was the brown set of hind legs. So I had written down the combinations that this could be done in, which was basically just two. No, so I'd written hind legs, not white in case it's Rudolph, Blitzen, brown with white spots, or Dancer, brown. I had not realized that there was another set of brown legs that apart from Dancer, which was Prancer. So I'd made sure that Blitzen had white spots on the brown legs so that couldn't be confused, but I'd forgotten about Prancer. And I thought, oh God, the numbers won't work. Oh no. There's no way to tell the two pairs of brown legs apart at all. I didn't think of anything. Shit. And then, as if you guys read my stupid little mind, you said, oh, well, we could just use... And who was it?
It was probably Annekoos. You carried that entire part of the puzzle.
I just saw 80 DP and 40 DP, and I put them together.
Yeah, that was it. Yes, you used someone else.
I used Blitzen for the hind legs. I think I used Dasher for the forelegs. And then I used Cupid for the hind legs on the other one, and I don't know who we used. I think Jamie took over on that one, on the forelegs, because I think at that point I was drowning in a sea of hind legs.
Hind legs, and Cupid happened. So Cupid wasn't intended to be used at all. And I just bashed in some numbers for the other ones, to noise to hide the information in. And thank God I happened to write for Cupid a high enough number for Deer Power that the sum still worked.
Nice.
Because at that point, you were in totally unknown territory for me, and I was looking at my sheet of info going, oh, no. I've done this wrong. I've done it right.
Because I wasn't sure whether there was more than one way to do it. Yeah.
I wish I'd been clever enough or spent enough, or had enough time to come up with different combinations that would work. I wrote down random numbers, made sure there was a combination that would work in, and a few things that you definitely shouldn't do. Like, for example, giving Rudolph no useful features apart from the nose. so that all white legs were a bad idea, and then putting some other white legs in there. So you had to go, oh, no, shit, don't use a white leg. It could be Rudolph. That's what I wanted to happen. And you guys saw through that immediately, but then used the same logic in the other direction to find another set of white legs for the other side that would do the job. So, sorry, another set of brown legs that would do the job. So well done, you. Very good.
Well, there you go. I can't take really any of that credit. I think that because that was all.
Yeah, Jamie, you weirdly checked out of that section.
I saw that section. I was like, okay. So I tried to logic puzzle it first, and then once we got more information, I tried to then. I think I was trying to do like simultaneous maths. Okay, one leg has the DP and the lift, and working out together. And I got maths blindness. And then even after we'd realised that one set of legs was the DPO, one set of legs was the lift, my brain was just like, no. There are two sets of numbers, yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You got to add those up together. Like, no. At that point, my brain just started doing the Magic Roundabout theme.
I'm really surprised that we got the lift right, because I was focusing so hard on the. Actually, it was because you got the lift, Jamie, because you were like, "Oh, if we do this one and this one, then we've got."
That's
like, okay. I'm glad somebody's paying attention to that, because I'm only looking at the deer power.
Yeah, there was a lovely moment there where Annekoos was finally reaching the end of her rope with it, and Jamie went, "Okay, back in the room."
Just that final moment of lucidity
again, having been buggered off in a corner doing something for about 10 minutes,
just rocking back and forth.
Have my little break. I'll do
getting
this.
cheery on his methamphetamines.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was.
I was genuinely. I'd gotten to a point where I like in my mind's eye there were just legs strewn about everywhere. And I was like, why did we not do the IKEA thing where you sort them out into the piles and you check, have I got everything I need before you actually start assembling it? Because that's what I would normally do with an IKEA kit.
Always check your ingredients.
Yeah. I think there's a way to that's a method to divide people in the same way that you could definitely do corporate recruitment by shoving people into an escape room and then just watching them, because at a certain point they're gonna forget why they're there and they're just gonna try and do the room, and then you get to meet them. It's like Taskmaster. It's the reason Taskmaster is so much fun, because at a certain point the comedian personalities collapse and you meet these people, and that's glorious. Just so good. watching somebody suffer with something that does not matter.
Yeah,
actually,
because watching somebody suffer with something that is of great import could be very painful and very difficult. But watching somebody suffer over something that means nothing is glorious fun.
On that point, I think it would be amazing to have a version of the show Gogglebox, but it's just escape room GMs reacting to CCTV footage of teams absolutely losing their shit over the most banal puzzles.
Oh, but also like trying to give hints. You'd need a mic there, and it would have to be a live GM.
Whilst trying to stifle giggles.
Put the set of drawers down.
Don't defecate in that, sir.
No, don't listen to me. I don't know anything about this.
How many legs does the average reindeer have? You've got too many legs.
So I have a story here. I may have told it before on this show. I mean, we're 300 episodes in, guys. I'm sorry if I've repeated myself at some point. But when I was a kid, my sisters were really into horse riding, and I did some horse riding myself. Not as much as them, but I did some. And I was once sat on a horse, and I remember the horse's name. The horse was called Moody. Pony would be a more accurate description, because I was smaller then. Moody was lovely. Moody was very even-tempered and tolerated me. And I was sat on Moody in a class of several kids, and the teacher was stood in the sand looking up at us, doing his little kind of quiz. And at one point, she asked, with a little glimmer in her eye, how many legs does a horse have? And I looked down and checked. I was like, look over. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 4.
Oh, wait, no, there's 5.
Oh, it's a boy horse. And there's a girl horse over there. Yeah, no, I don't know why I checked to this day. I mean, I guess the evidence was right there beneath me. I could check, and it was there, and it was possible, so I thought, better be sure.
Employ the scientific method, John. That's...
Yeah. But that's the most conscientious thing I've ever done.
The last thing you want...
It's all downhill from there.
The last thing...
That's...
You?
It's the most sure I've ever been of anything in my life, was that horse had 4 legs.
Before you get on the horse, check. Have you kicked its forelegs? What's the pressure like?
It's got a stabilizer now. Great. I'm extra safe.
Oh, God. Tripod.
Jeez. Lovely. Before we go, how's Christmas looking for you guys? I mean, I say this will come out after Christmas has been. So, no, this is a better game. How did Christmas go, guys? Give me your rundown on how your Christmas went. Jamie just shrugged.
It was really lovely. There was a lot of food. There were boxes of Quality Street that had to be hidden for my kids.
Unfortunately, 2023 box of Quality Street that are half the size that they used to be. Quality Street, I hope you're listening.
I mean, that's happening everywhere because inflation, cost of living, everything is more expensive.
Isn't it amazing that the term inflation means things ending up being smaller?
And that's
the same money.
Well, that's what they started
That's
using.
So bleak.
They started using the term shrinkflation now to describe why Freddo bars are more expensive and yet smaller.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted now because I've noticed recently that butter is no longer sold in packs of 250 grams, but in packs of 200 grams. And it feels meaner. But anyway, so my Christmas, I'm going to predict, was jolly. The children got very hopped up on much too much sugar, and they got a lot of toys that we now have to find space for in our house.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty standard.
Yeah.
I am going to say that at Christmas, which is now in the past, definitely, that the 15 people that my sister decided she could host for Christmas in a 2-up, 2-down terraced house in Cardiff with a kitchen the size of a postage stamp was ambitious. That the turkey dinner had to be done in sittings. The turkey wouldn't fit in the oven, so ended up having to be sawed open and put in there in shifts. They couldn't easily saw it, so we ended up going and getting a wood saw from a neighbor to cut the turkey. We sterilized it first, naturally, to slice up the turkey. My dad made so many attempts to take control over the kitchen because he is a walking robot butler and cannot not do that, fueled as he is by the urge to ruin as many cups of tea as possible. Because my God, Dad, just stop. Just let people make their own cups of tea, Dad. Please, just let them. It's not your house, Dad. Not your house.
Put the kettle down and back away.
yeah. Back away, man. So I'm going to say that happened. My sister lost her rag at one point with my mum, but my mum was so deaf that she didn't notice and just carried on regardless. That we ate said turkey in our shifts, and it was fine until my other sister's husband's dad, who is Welsh as they come, found out that I once made a joke in Merthyr about Margaret Thatcher and a claw hammer whilst at my friend's wedding and doing his best man speech. Don't do that if you're ever listening. If you're ever in Merthyr,
you don't talk about Thatcher, Merthyr. That's not.
Don't talk about Thatcher.
But with a claw hammer, that sounds like it could end up being a positive joke.
She was murdering a minor.
No. Other way round. That's how read the room, John.
Yeah, know your audience, dude.
The claw hammer goes towards Thatcher.
Yeah, and then everybody ends up cheering.
Quite so. Fair enough. Anyway, that happens. I lose my rag at him for yelling at my sister. We have a full-on fight in which my other sister's husband does not know what to do with his loyalties truly split and instead cuddles their dog, who then wheezes on the floor. In the meantime, my daughter is telling her cousin, who is 2, all about death because she's just found out that people die. Also, she then tells him that Santa got shot down by a Russian anti-aircraft missile because she's been asleep in the room above me this entire time. And I say asleep in the most optimistic way you can imagine. And that is how my Christmas went.
I'd like to think that during all this, in the midst of the chaos, right as it reaches its crescendo, there's one voice and one person starts singing in a very weak, low tone. So here it is. Merry Christmas. And then you all start to join in and you forget all your strife and you start singing. The credits roll and
the turkey burns, sets the oven on fire, and we all have to evacuate, and my sister loses her mortgage.
But not before somebody slips on the dog's wee on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Foreshadowing.
Somebody slips on the wee while you're trying to leave the house.
It's Chekhov's piss. It's got to happen.
100%.
And possibly that person gets trampled.
Yeah, the 2-year-old walks out the door asking, Mummy, Daddy, what is death?
End and then freeze frame. That's how we do it.
Is Santa dead?
Just to contrast that, I think my Christmas.
Give us some sunshine and light, Jamie.
My Christmas involves a bacon sandwich at 7 a.m. That is a fun Christmas tradition that needs to happen. Christmas breakfast is always a bacon sandwich.
I love the weird ones.
Luckily, but both
sets. Not that weird.
My bacon sandwich is fine, right?
But you know what I mean. Like weird little stuff. Like for example, on Christmas Day, I eat a pork pie.
Oh, nice.
I don't know why. Like this ended up being a thing because for some reason at Christmas, my parents would have a pork pie in a small one, as if they were about to reenact Great Expectations. You know, like it would just be there, and I'd have a slice of pork pie for breakfast for reasons that I still don't understand.
Tradition.
So now I'm 35, and I just kind of expect it. Even my wife knows that at Christmas I'm going to do that.
But it's those things that make Christmas. That's the thing. Bacon sandwich for breakfast. Luckily, both my parents and my wife's parents live within a 10-minute walk from each other in Merthyr. So we're hitting both sets of parents on Christmas Day. My son will probably get copious amounts of books. Hopefully, I'll get copious amounts of Lego and mead, which would be lovely.
Not together, sticky.
We'll see. We'll see how the day goes. And then after Christmas lunch, back home in time for the Doctor Who Christmas special, which is back on a Christmas Day, and I'm so fucking happy that Doctor Who has a Christmas special again. It was a tradition for a long time. They stopped it, and it made me sad, and now it's back. So the world is back as it should be.
Very good. Very good. That was a suitably warm and optimistic note to end our recollections of our Christmases on. And I hear the bell tolling, not for our souls or for Santa's, but telling us to piss off home out the pub.
This drag bar closes at 1 a.m. and so Santa is giving us a stern look.
He's Santa-themed drag bar.
The bouncers, the drag act is doubling as the security.
Lovely.
Looking very amazing in his glitter beard.
Well done, guys. Thank you so much for joining me.
That was a good, fun puzzle.
I'm glad. I hope you have had and are going to have, at the same time, a very Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
And a very Happy New Year.
And you, dear listener, I hope you have and have had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all. And on that note, I'll say good night.
Nighty-night.
Good night.
Here's to 2024. More podcasts, bitches.
Woo! Yeah.